So Season 2 of Splitgate Arena Warfare is here, but is it worth playing? Season 2 of Splitgate came out this past week on June 15th and is the first major content release in quite some time for Splitgate. It includes a new map, new weapon, and new battle pass along with various other changes and updates. Before we hit on some of the content that is gameplay oriented, let's talk about some of the new features outside of gameplay. First and most obvious is the new season of the Battle Pass, or Arena Pass as 1047 Games has named it. Overall, the Battle Pass does have some pretty cool skins for your characters and guns, so if skins are something that you're into, the $10 price for the cheap version isn't a bad deal. Like most games, they do offer a premium Battle Pass that skips some of the early levels. While there's nothing in here that jumps out to me and says, I need this, the overall quality seems pretty decent, and hey, there's a panda spray at level 82. Once I saw that, I knew I had to buy it. I will say the final skin, which is normally one of the coolest in a battle pass, doesn't appeal much to me, but that could easily just be my taste. Just like most games, there are some free rewards in there if you don't want to buy the battle pass. Overall, it seems pretty decent, although I would be lying to you if I said battle passes really did a lot for me these days in general. Next up, outside of the game, they've changed up the item shop. No longer do they have the loot box model, and instead went with a model that all skins are directly buyable or unlockable through that battle pass. Again, while skins aren't always my thing by any means, this is a business decision that I can get behind. Going forward, 1047 states that they plan on focusing on quality over quantity for the skins that they add to the game, and that's probably a good thing. I thought Splitgate had way too many average and low quality skins in the past that really did clutter up the game, making the good ones harder to notice. They've also replaced the chest emblem with sprays, which I guess is fine, though those chest emblems did look pretty damn hilarious at times, so what am I going to laugh at now while I'm playing? To house all these new skins is a redesigned UI for the locker, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not really a fan of it. Not to say that I was a fan of the old UI because that was also pretty messy, but hopping into the new locker for the first time was very weird. The main page of it is pretty straightforward and I like that, but once you hop into the different areas, it can get hard to find specific skins you want, at least for me. I wish I could just sort all skins, regardless of armor type by rarity, as I don't really care to click into each of the different armor types to see all the skins I have. I should note that they did get rid of the ability to mix and match different armor pieces, and although this doesn't really bother me, it may irk some of you out there, so I felt it was worth noting. 1047 has also redone or added many different sections into the career portion. In here, you're able to look at your stats, your leaderboards, and even pull up your replays. This is something that existed before, but I like the direction they have gone, and you can look at some pretty cool stats. Currently, ranked is not live, but once it is, you'll also be able to look at the leaderboards, or once again, I can be reminded I suck at games. Alright, that is enough talking about non-gameplay features. Let's get to the good and not so good stuff. One of the main additions to this season of Splitgate is the new weapon, the Carbine. The Carbine is a semi-auto, mid to long range rifle, which is very DMR-esque if you're a Halo fan. The Carbine is a nice addition and fun to use, however, I cannot talk about the Carbine without also mentioning the pistol. If you played Splitgate in the past, you'll know that the pistol acted as the game's utility weapon off spawn. The pistol had its own scope, and with good aim, you could take down an enemy with 3 shots, just like the Carbine they have now introduced. So you might be wondering, why have 2 guns in the same exact role? Well, they don't anymore, because the pistol has been nerfed, or better described as a redesign, to make it a sidearm instead of a main weapon. The pistol now has no scope and is rapid fire with much reduced damage. It really does take a ton of shots to kill someone, and if you hit 6 headshots in a row, you're able to kill them, or you can shoot a ton more body shots. Basically, the only role of the pistol now is if you just need something in a pinch. It's not a viable option to run with full time, which to be fair is how it's described in the patch notes. So, while I like the new Carbine, which actually has amazing animations, I mean just look at this reload animation. I think I would have rather seen a new weapon that fulfilled a different role, instead of one that already existed. Currently in social, you spawn with a Carbine and a pistol, so you no longer spawn with that full auto weapon to combat enemies. This doesn't really bother me, as you can easily go pick up an SMG or an AR on the map, but for someone who liked having the AR in their pocket, this may be a bummer. Cardinal Soldier has mentioned they are monitoring feedback on this, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw starting weapons in social tweaked in the future. I imagine though this is the loadout wheel getting ranked, and at the end of the day, I don't mind it. I just would have rather seen the pistol left alone and a totally new weapon archetype added. Oasis is the new map that has been added in Season 2. It's an outdoor map set on a tropical island, and it's probably the biggest map the game has in terms of just raw size. I don't really know how to put this into words, but Oasis is the first Splitgate map that feels like a Splitgate map to me. Maybe it's just the combination of openness with the coarse quarter sections, maybe it's just the aesthetic, or maybe it's the portal wall placements. But to me, Oasis is the first map that feels truly unique to Splitgate. While many of the maps are good, some more than others, a lot of them do feel like they could slot into other arena shooters if you took out the portal mechanic and changed up the layout slightly. 1047 has been doing a great job with the maps that they've added in post-launch, as Abyss also plays very well, so I'm excited to see the maps we get in the future. A Killcam has also been added in Season 2, and this is probably one of the few things this season added that I'm just not a fan of. To be fair, you can easily switch it off in the settings, but to me, Killcams were not really something this game needed, and that dev time could have been spent adding other cool features. Maybe I'm a little off base here, but besides the Call of Duty games, I don't really care for Killcams in games. The addition of them in Splitgate reminds me of when they ham-fisted them into Halo 4 and nobody cared for them, or the laughable Killcams you get in CSGO casual lobbies. If they wanted to go this route, a play of the game type feature would have been more cool to me, or even just a final kill cam. Like I mentioned though, you are able to turn these off, so the addition of them isn't some huge negative, just something I personally don't care for. Post-game lobbies also got a touch up, and you can now see some of your prominent stats cleanly displayed with the addition of Overwatch style medals signifying where you placed on your team. While definitely a small thing, getting a ton of gold medals always feels cool. Overall, I think Splitgate is in a pretty good spot as of Season 2. It is a bummer how long it took, sure, but at the end of the day, it is a game worked on by a small team. This team, while small, is still extremely passionate about their game, and I truly believe has the intentions to try and bring Splitgate to the forefront of gamers again. In one of their dev blogs, they mentioned trying to do more updates going forward, instead of saving all the features for these big season drops. That should be a good way to keep players interested, and I'm excited to see how things go for them. If you missed it, my video previous to this one was a long-form interview with Cardinal Soldier that I'll link up in the corner, where we did a deep dive into all things Splitgate. I highly recommend you check that out, as it was very interesting and informative. Even if you don't care much about Splitgate, it really gets into just game design principles and some of the struggles that indie games face. As for Splitgate, that leaves the question I posed at the start of this video. Is Splitgate Season 2 worth playing? And to that, I would say yes. If Splitgate is a game that you ever enjoyed, or you were ever interested in and never got around to playing it, there is no time better than now. If you were not a huge fan though of the core gameplay loop in Splitgate in the past, I would not say this season really sways that too much. At the end of the day, if you don't enjoy the portal mechanic or some of the other mechanics in Splitgate, more maps and weapons probably aren't going to change that for you. I am personally having a lot of fun with Season 2 though, and I hope many of you decide to try it out. The Splitgate community, while small, is one of the nicest and friendliest communities you'll find in a first-person shooter, so they will do their best to try and make you feel at home. As always, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. If you want to catch me, RecNoobs, live, you can follow me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Arrrash with 3 R's, and if that isn't enough me for you, you can also follow me on Twitter at Arrrash with 4 R's. With that said, I'll see you guys next time.